how comes Mr. Beast is always giving out so many handouts, huge handouts to international countries, but in the United States, it's always another version of Squid Games? Let's talk about it. What is that winning team? Hello, my beloved lovelies. And I wanted to touch on this because it's something that I've thought about like a number of times. And I want to just unpack this because obviously I think in the view of Mr. Beast, obviously at the moment he's got all these allegations coming out, and I'd kind of touched on that. Did I upload that video? I can't remember if I did. I'll check. But anyway, and I've always thought, but I've never really said that much, that he kind of does. I've always found it strange how he'll go and build, like he recently, had a backlash because he'd kind of, well, a lot of people would describe as kind of intimidated a lot of streamers into putting like millions and millions into this this charity that he was raising money for. He wanted to break the world record for the most money raised, right? For this, to give clean water to 40 million people for 40 million for however many years in Africa, right? And he's always doing this stuff in other countries. And the thing about it is, I think that's absolutely genius, because when somebody's going to help, doing something to help somebody else, it's the perfect way to prevent you people from easily critiquing what you're doing, because then everybody else immediately goes, how could you possibly question what they're doing? This is a good person. And it's ironic because I just thought, well, that's the exact same tactic Jezebel used with Ahab in the Bible, when Ahab wanted a piece of land and the guy didn't want to give it up, and Jezebel went and killed the guy. And obviously that was past the morals Ahab had from his own God. But she was like, but babe, I did this for you, my love, I thought this, you know what I mean? It's one of those manipulative tactics, I find personally, because my thinking is always, why is it that he doesn't just like, I'm going to pay for rent for a year for, I don't know, 1,000 people in California? Because I mean, like, I've seen the videos. I've even been to places around the world, sorry, excuse me, what is going on in my thing? But yeah, I've seen the people who are homeless, like, all over these states. And I'm like, why not do that? Like, why not do certain other things, like in your own camp? Because you guys know how I feel about, well, I'll tell you how I feel. Because the thing is, when he's in America, it seems he does do handouts and stuff, but he seems to prioritize all of his different iterations of the Squid Games. Can I just say, I don't think there's a single human on earth who loves the Squid Games, more than Mr. Beast. Truly. I believe he watched it and he was like, I found my calling. My calling is here. So that's what I want to know. I want to know, wow, are we surprised? Oh, look. Okay, maybe it's not the mosque. Okay, no, but is it the mosque? I can't tell right now if the mosque is open or if it's just people over there. But anyway, are we... Like, why is it always some squid? Like, we're doing beast games, we're bringing the biggest beast city ever, and the biggest this, and the biggest that, and we're getting this, whatever, and this, that. And then always selling products, like another Feastables. Then they did Lunchly. Now he has the freaking jerky, and also beef sticks. And he now has, Beast chocolate milk. It's just like, oh my gosh, Beast burgers. So then, like, when he's selling to the States, it's like he's doing the same things big corporations do, which is play Squid Games with the public and then sell them just junk. And of course, there's a lot of controversies. I'm going to squat for a little bit. There's a lot of controversies around things like with the Beast chocolates, and like how, is there child labor going into making the chocolate, where he's sourcing it from around the world. And, obviously now he's rich enough as well. And that's the thing that makes it a bit heinous to me. He's rich enough that he can kind of, anybody that comes against him legally, like, good luck. Which is for the same reason, like I say to you guys as well, why people are so obsessed with getting rich is because the richer you are, the more you get away with, because who's going to come up against you? They would have to have like an equivalent or more amount of money to you to be able to get as many lawyers, finding as many loopholes paying off as many people, that's how that goes. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people turn a blind eye and have over the years to him because he's giving out money. And that's why I've always thought what he's doing is very heinous. What he's doing is very heinous. And like I said, why not take all this money? He could still make videos about it. People would engage. He probably, then again, this is the other thing that I know he knows, but other people don't realize, is that children are the most profitable audience on social media, and they always will be, because adults just don't have the time, and B, adults are not very fun, let's say that as well, and C, adults, obviously see through things, whereas kids, they're kids. So I kind of feel like, to an extent, I want to sit down somewhere, but this is what I get for coming out at flipping 4 p.m. on a Saturday, whatever time it is. It is just people and people and people and people and people and people and peopling. People. Actually, no, I could go sit over there, to be fair. I'll go sit over there. So yeah, what was I saying? So that's what I think a lot of people don't seem to understand, is that a lot of people are always going to, as long as the kids are left on the internet unsupervised, this is one of the other reasons, the very, very many reasons I have an issue with it. As long as the kids are online, a lot of heinous people are always going to have a platform, because that's who the target audience anyways. I mean, the smartphone audience, the target audience for the first iPhone was 13 to 15 year olds. It was 13 to 15 year olds. It wasn't adults, because again, they knew. Adults ourselves at the time, well, I was an adult at the time, would have been like, we're not paying all this money for a phone. You know what I mean? We're not paying all this money for a phone. But then if you put it to the kids, and then the kids are hounding their parents, and their parents just want to have a break, they just want to get their kids to shut up, then they're going to pay for it, aren't they? So that's what I feel like happened. So with that being said, they were always the target anyway, because they're the easiest to keep on their devices, and to keep the long-term attention of. That's how streaming works, if you think about it. I'm going to sit on the grass, actually. YOLO. Let's sit on the grass. Hold on, let me find a nice spot. Okay, so as I was saying, I like sitting on the grass. I wish I could take a nap on the grass, but like naked. And I know there's a little logistics to that, but if I could, I honestly think I would sleep 12 hours. So I just love being on the grass and outside, and I just hate being inside. Anyways, don't overthink it, guys. Just the concept, all right? Don't start thinking into the details of why that wouldn't be a good idea. I know, but if there was a way I could peacefully, without being bothered by anything, humans or whatever, or bugs, and sleep on the grass, that would be the best amazing thing ever. Naked. But anyway, so yeah, kids are always the target audience. And so again, what you end up having now is, I really think this guy is really truly so dark as a person. And I say that because I understand everything he's doing, and a lot of things he does are like my dream. Like, you guys know, I love a game, I love observing humans, and I love, like, deep down, if it wasn't for the fact that, I love people, and it's a love that I get from the Lord, like, if I was to swing to the kingdom of darkness, I would be playing with people. I would be manipulating people to see as far as I could go, to mess around with everyone. Like, that's actually what I would do, like, low-key. I would mess with everyone just to see how far I could take it and how far I could push it. So when I see what Mr. Beast is doing, it's like, that's my version of the evil version of me is almost like him. Like, just sway the people by giving them all the performances that they need, giving all this money to this country. This is why, especially like in countries like, in the West, where you're taught like, all over in Africa and in Asia and in here, and the people are poor, everybody's poor, and all of this. You're perfectly set up for that narrative of, if somebody from the West is like, we're going to go and give money there, everyone feels like they're doing this goody good. And I'll be honest, guys, can I tell you the gentleman's truth? I think every country needs to look after itself. That's why I have a problem with this. I don't think any country should be taking any handout from nowhere. I don't want to hear from the West anymore about, helping all these other countries. Don't. don't, because you're not, and don't pretend like you're not doing it for your own selfish gain, because that's the truth. It's like the situation that happened with Donald Trump in Zimbabwe, right? Oh, we're giving all this Medicaid to Zimbabwe, blah, blah, blah. But you didn't want to talk about all the materials that you people come and get from there. You didn't want to talk about, you didn't want to inform your people about the lithium and the aluminium and the copper and the gold and the diamonds that we have there. No, you didn't want to talk about that, did you? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You wanted to talk about, oh, there's just this and that. And it's our own fault, you know, in our own countries around the world, that we've been meat riding the West and we've been treating them like these messiahs for way too long. We need to just work. Everybody needs to work in their own places and get themselves together, like individually. And that's why I have an issue with what Mr. Beast is doing, because it's like, well, if you really are doing things and you're really that caring, surely the very country you're living in, there's so much going on. You're a younger person. You're not trying to be associated with the organizations of the world or the governments, right? Who do what's best for them, right? Or are you? Because if you were, then to me, I don't see why he's not. When I heard that they raised 40 million for the, when I heard they raised 40 million for the, to go and build this money, I was thinking, I wonder how much 40 million could do for people like in the United States right now, like where he's actually from. Like, I wonder how many people's lives would be changed, because you see it. But when he's doing stuff in the States, it's always a squid game. So it's like, it's almost like the whole of the United States is just his like field of Barbies or like action figures, right? That he's just playing around with and experimenting with. And then when he has any kind of scandals, or when he wants to look like the goody good, he goes and gives to the poor people around the world. Like, what is this really about? And that's why I don't trust his motives at all. Why would you not fix your own problems at home? Why would you not fix, like, even the other day, right? This is why I love all like the sidemen and their like friends and their adjacent friends. One of the guys, he lives in London and he's from a different part of England. I can't remember what part he's from. I think he said Bournemouth. I can't remember. That doesn't look like that is not a commercial plane. Is that a commercial? That is not a commercial plane. What kind of plane is that? Having said that, we do have a near where I live. This place where I live, yeah, is local to everything. It's local to freaking London is 30-minute drive. Flipping L. Ron Hubbard's house is 30-minute drive. Flipping like 2 or 3 other different big like areas of the country are 30-minute drive. There's actually the beach, the ocean, 30 minutes also drive from here. There's a flipping air raid. What do they call it? Where they test out like I don't know if it's military planes or if it's not the military planes, but they test out. So there's always, and this is just a little town here, and we just local to everywhere. It's kind of insane. And 30 minutes to an airport by car. Like, I know it's surprising I don't go more places, guys, but you know what? It's because I don't want to be anywhere and I don't want to be around anyone. Because every time I go somewhere, like I went to London and I ended up crying the whole day. Hence why you never saw part 2 of the vlog, because I literally just kept crying, realizing that like it doesn't matter where you go, like everywhere is just depressing. That's why I'm also haven't traveled yet this year. Because it's just like, what's the point? There's no excitement. Wherever you go, there's humans, and there's humans be acting like idiots and just being brain dead, and just people taking advantage, and governments in power doing the worst for their people. So anyways, yeah, one of the guys, he was like in another part of England. He was like, oh, I'm going to move back to like my hometown. And then they were like, really? Why would you do that? Like, you know, because his career's taken off a bit. He's a lot more well known. He just scored in the Sidemen charity match, and he's achieved quite a few things in London. And he was like, you know, I feel really bad. I feel like I got to go back home to like my town, to like my people. And I really want to invest more time and money like into where I came from. And I just thought, that is so wholesome. Like, he wants to go back. He wants to take all of like the attention he's got, and he's nowhere near it, Mr. Beast, like nowhere even near. But with what he does have already, he's like, I'm going to go and build there. Like, and we're going to go back. I think him and his girlfriend. Nah. What? Nah. What am I seeing? What kind of planes are these? I swear this town is the gift that keeps on giving. It's the gift that keeps on giving. On my way out, before, as I was going like to town, I just had the perfect like image of in my eyesight, and this is why I want to be I wish I could be I want to start taking pictures, like be a photographer a little bit, like as a hobby, but I do take photos sometimes. Because on the where I was crossing the road, right on the left of me, there's this whole new build, and there's all the paneling with all the and I'm seeing, and they're building these huge buildings. I also realized I actually have a theory why they're building all these new buildings. I was thinking before it was just to sell to foreign people. I don't. I think they're going to move us all in there with the Mark of the Beast thing. They're going to be like, okay, guys, we've got these apartments. We've got 2 beds, 3 beds. So we're all going to be in these apartments. They're going to have free reign to the rest of the world. They're going to say you own nothing and you'll be happy. We'll be in these closed spaces, but at least we have food. At least we have shelter. At least we have electricity. At least we have whatever, all courtesy of the Mark of the Beast. And they're just going to do with what they want with the rest of the world. I genuinely believe that's where we're headed, by the way. But anyway, so in this image, I'm seeing like this guy building, and kind of goes back to exactly what I'm talking about, Mr. Beast. I think all these buildings going up with all these the new whatever center it's going to be called. And I used to know a place like it in London because I used to go work there all the time. So this really nice downstairs cafe area, and they had lots of different food. They had like cafe food there. They had like, oh, it was just amazing. And I used to go and like my laptop and go and work there. And then there was like a theater up the stairs from there, and then if you went out, you were like literally right at Tottenham in North London. Like, and I love Tottenham, I love North London, it was kind of like that. And so now they're having it, they're going to put recording studios and all this, which again, why? But anyway, they're building this whole thing, and then next to me as I'm crossing the road, or like in my other eye line here, there's a guy like with his shirt off, yeah, holding 2 beers on loudspeaker, like having an argument with somebody. He's clearly already drunk. He's like drunk one of the beers, and then as I've come up to this scene that I'm talking about, and I've seen him throw this beer just like into the road and like kind of go to drink the other one. And then he went to say something to the young girl who went in front of me. She must have been like 16, who had crossed the road in front of me, and he was like talking to her, and she was like ignoring him. And I was thinking, oh, that's wholesome. I was thinking, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you talking to this girl? But obviously he's going through it. And I was thinking, to be honest, I don't even judge people like this, because he's probably just suffering, bless him. But this is what I mean. Like, you have the money all of a sudden in the town that's being spent on all these new builds. And then you have the more and more time I'm walking around, I'm seeing more and more just crazy stuff, like as the days go on, because people are just like suffering. And it's just like, I can't believe we just let these people get away with this stuff. Like, and this is how I'm starting to feel about Mr. Beast. Like, you guys know, I was always one. I even took down a couple of the videos before I got to the stage of life where I'm at now, where I was saying, like, from years ago, like, I don't trust what he's doing. And I listened into this story of his experience with this woman who was pregnant, who's filing a lawsuit at the moment, and he's trying to close her lawsuit. By the way, if you can hear in the background, there's I don't know if it's a girl and her brother or if it's her dad, but they're boxing with boxing pads. Sick. Reminds me of like when me and my brothers used to do Fight Club, because my brother's into fighting, so he would teach both of me and my other brother. We'd be learning all these fighting skills. So this is why I have yeah. You know, I really actually wish I had sisters. I really wish I had a sister. Like, I'm so sad I didn't get to grow up with like any one single long life healthy female relationship. Like, that's something I think about all the time, and I hate it because like as soon as you say to people like, oh, I grew up with brothers, I can't tell if they're having an argument or if they're just joking around. What the hell is going on? This is like the argument. I've been stumbling on people having arguments in public a lot more. Hold on, I gotta figure out what's happening. Okay, whatever it was, I don't know. But that's another thing, like, I've been stumbling. Yeah, I wish I had a sister. Like, the way I get treated because of having only brothers, and whenever I say that, it's like, oh, trust me, this isn't by choice. I would love, like, when I hear girls who, like, grew up with all sisters, or have, like, grew up with, like, 3 sisters, I'm like, oh, no wonder you're also, like in touch with your feelings, and I actually genuinely feel like left out of the picture because I just don't even know how to operate in that functioning at all. And so yeah, it's not a fun time actually. Growing up, I didn't think I wanted a sister. I thought it was cool being the only girl, but then the older I've gotten, nah, especially now at this age. No, but I was wondering myself. I was low-key Sorry, the guy was asking me, so it wasn't just me wondering what the hell was going on. Anyways, I told him if he finds out to let me know. I told you it's crazy around here. I've been seeing arguments everywhere. He's brave to walk over there. And the funny thing is, yeah, it's happening right outside the pub, and I can see from the pub garden there's loads of people in the pub garden, low key going out in the pub garden in the hot day. I've been in this country way too long. Back to Mr. Beast. Back to Mr. Beast. Yeah, like it's the same thing where it's like you're watching on the one hand, like I'm saying, I'm watching on the one hand, like you're building all this stuff and you're doing all these supposed good deeds. It's like with the government and all these local things that I realize they're so sly with how they do stuff, yeah, because they always say like, we're building more houses. It's like, but who are those houses going to? We're investing more money in education. This year, it will put 50 million into education. They did that last year. But the 50 million went to languages. If they cared about the kids, they should focus on the core subjects. They should say, we're focusing on reducing the number of subjects, extracurriculars the kids are doing, and focusing more on getting them through the core subjects that they need and providing parents with other alternative options or whatever that they can send their kids. You know what I mean? Like, they need to get the core subjects. It's the core subjects that they can't do. And it's a similar thing where I'm like, yeah, you make it look like you're doing one thing, but reality, what are you actually doing? Yeah, we're increasing the housing, but for who? Because as far as I'm concerned, the housing that they're building, and I've been seeing it, these people can't flip and afford it. Like, the random people around here can't flip and afford it. Like, the average person can't afford it. So I'm just like, mate. But then they want to make themselves look like they're doing a good deed. The same with Mr. Beast. I'm like, well, you're in America, right? You're American. Well, why not look after your own people? There's so many things going wrong. Why not go and put that money into what's happening around you? I've never seen a bug like that before. Like, why not put it into your own people? You know what I'm saying? Why not invest in your own country? Why are you not doing that? Why is it when it's in your own country, it's become Squid Game? It's some version of Squid Game. Today we're doing a $1 million challenge to find out who can stay inside the circle for the longest time possible. And I mean, right now, we're literally waiting, right? I'm going to go because this thing's about to... I'm not going to have any more storage soon anyways, I've yapped enough. I actually recorded 2 videos before I came out. I'm also going to walk by where the beef was to see if I can find out anything. And this made me really sad, yeah, like, because people are so desperate, and he's like playing on people's desperation. I'm like, if you can see people are this desperate in like America, then why are you putting them through this? Like, because the current one, and I'm going to see how it ends. Basically, he said last to leave the supermarket wins 250,000, right? And so at the end, it had been like, I don't know, I can't remember how many days. I think like 100 days or like 60 days or something, and they were still there because you had these young guys who were just like, screw it. They probably weren't very well paid at their jobs anyways. And YOLO, you know what I mean? Why not? And then there was a guy who was like a dad, and he was like, I'm doing this like for my family because I was wondering how I was going to like do anything. So he's like, there's no way I'm leaving this store, which for me, watching his videos, I find fascinating. And like, that's what I mean, like, where I would love to run these experiments, but I couldn't, because morally, seeing people like this is where, to me, the solution has to be a revolution, not like this stuff, because I don't want people to have to like suffer and be in such desperation. Like, people should be thriving. People should be, everybody should be able to live independently. You shouldn't have to put yourself through such extremes. Whereas, Jimmy gets like a kick out of it, and I couldn't. That's the part where like I'm just not that person, as much as I love the concept, if you know what I mean. Anyways, he gets to the end of it and he's like, okay, guys, I'm prepared to offer another challenge. If I'll add another 250,000, right? So that's not even a lot of money, because let's not forget this is going to get taxed. So at least half of that is gone, yeah? And this is between, I think, 5 people now. And he's like, if you can manage to stay in here for until you've eaten all the food in the supermarket. So now this is what we're waiting for. We're waiting until these guys have to eat all the food, and he restocks the entire supermarket. Like, that is just, and it's like for only 500,000, and you're giving 40 million to like at least give them, like, you know what I mean? And this is the desperation of people. Like, does not everybody see the problem with that? And that's in his own country, in the United States, all for the spectacle. And so when I see him doing like all these millions going to doing whatever and whatever, and I know he did like the eye surgeries and stuff, but like, it's like, there's just something off about it all to me. Is it just me? Am I crazy for saying that? Like, am I actually crazy for saying that there's just something morally wrong with that? And again, because we live in a world that's so enslaved to money, because all people see is money, and that's what he knows better than anyone, is that, and he learned that from Squid Games as well. This is why me and him both saw the same thing. When people can actually see the money, and because of how the money is like the god of this world, that's why he always makes sure that the money is there. So the entire time they're doing this challenge, the money's always there. The Beast Games, the money's always there. And it's always real cash, not fake cash. So people get to go and touch it. And it's like, he's the ultimate, it's like temptation central. Like, it's incredible. Like, that's what I'm saying. I love watching it because I find it absolutely entertaining and fascinating. But like, on a moral level, it's absolutely disgusting behavior, because you're just taking advantage of the desperation of others, and the way you're going about it just feels a bit off. Because then even with this woman who has got the lawsuit, I mean, you know, he says to everybody, he's got them working so hard, and he basically tries to make it like, I work this hard and this is why I'm rich, so you should want to work as hard as I do, so this is the standard and this is how much you have to do, right? And then this woman that he's talking about, she was literally on meetings, and it was dark to see because they had footage. She's literally here on video call meetings while she's giving birth. And then, like, while she's supposed to be on maternity leave, he's like, oh, but we need you in Brazil tomorrow. So this woman who's healing from giving birth to a child, and she says she realizes because she thinks she's the only woman. And again, let's not go down the road. I've already given my whole spiel about Mr. Beast and what I feel like, why, you know, he's one of those winning in life because he's a loser. And then once he gets a bit of power, he enjoys, you know, how holding that power over others and wielding his power, because that's what losers do when they get in power or they get money, power, and fame. That's why the world is weird, because winners don't care to do that. And that's why the world will always be run by losers. And that's why we have to escape to the promised land, because the world is always so they're always going to be the ones the most desperate, you know, and that's how, if anybody knows desperation more than anyone. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, guys, you tell me what you think, but I just think it's sketchy, and I think it's just disgusting. And like I said, fix the stuff in your own camp. Like, everyone always wants to complain about blah, blah, blah. Well, you have your own stuff, like you have your own issues in your own country. And I feel for the Americans. I really do, because he could be making a difference, but it's just like, what's his goal here? Like, what's this really about? Anyways, let me know what you guys think, because if life's a game, let's play to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.